Hello everyone, Roberta Montagnini here, and in today's tutorial I will be showing you step by step on how I edited and transformed this beautiful image, making the colors and details pop. Alright, so let's get started. I'm gonna run an action called cleaning skin, which is pretty much an empty layer, just like labeled correctly, so I can clean her skin. I'm gonna be using the healing brush right here. And I'm just gonna be fixing anything that is too obvious, like hair strokes that are on her face that are too distracting. And I do this all over, everywhere on her face. And in the future, after I have edited my image, if I realize there are some places left undone, I just come back to it. Yeah, I think we're good. I zoom out, I can see the before and after. Not much. She's young, she has nice skin. So this is how I normally edit my image. I sit in front of my computer, I have no idea how the image is gonna look like, and I just go for it. So you're experiencing it firsthand. So right now I'm gonna use another action that I have already created, and it's called dodge and burn. So how do I do that? I will create two curves layers here. I'm gonna name this one here burn, and the one below dodge. I'm gonna group them, and I'm gonna name the group dodge and burn. Okay, on the burn layer here, I'm gonna click on the icon, and I'm gonna drag this slightly down, so maybe here. Yeah. And I'm going to click on the mask, and I'm going to press Command I to invert that layer. Now I'm going to do the same on the dodge. I'm going to click here on the icon first, and I'm going to lift this thing higher. And I'm going to click on the white panel here, and I'm going to invert that. So what does it mean? I know that behind this black thing there are some light colors. So if I use my brush and I set my brush to white, let's pick like 100% here, just so you see. And if I paint, it's gonna lighten the image, if you see. And if you see here on the panel, it created like a little circle where we just applied the brush. And if I go on the burn layer and I do that, it's gonna make my image darker. Okay, so with the dodge, I'm gonna start with the dodge. But before we start, I'm also going to create a helper layer, which is just a color layer. Oh, sometimes I look at this and I can't see. So I just want a solid color, black, and I'm going to keep it like this, and I'm just going to go here to normal and color. And now we have a black and white image. I do this because I don't want any distractions when editing my image. So I'm gonna leave this on just so when we are using dodge and burn, and then I can remove after. So I'm gonna click on dodge, get my brush set to white, opacity set to 100%, and flow set to 2%. I'm gonna make my brush small here, and I'm just gonna paint on the areas where I think the image needs. The changes are very subtle, you don't see it straight away. And you do on the other side, and you do everywhere on the image that requires a transition of colors. If I just hide my dark layer now, my black layer, and if I do before and after, you can see the areas where I've worked on the image. And that fixed the dark circles and fixed any other highlighting issue that we have. We corrected that with the burn. So dodge to highlight dark areas and burn to conceal light areas. So this is the before and after. Also, since we are already working on the highlights here, I'm going to go back to the dodge, and I'm going to brighten up her teeth a tiny bit more. I'm not adding any color, I'm just bringing the details back with the dodge and burn technique. And now, if you see this eye is a bit out of focus, what we can do, we can Command Option Shift E, and we're going to create a screenshot of whatever we are looking at. And I'm going to go to Filter, image and other and high pass, and I'm gonna set maybe 3 radius, and I think that should be good. And I'm gonna go here to linear light. Now I'm gonna create a mask, and I'm gonna invert the mask to black, get a white brush, set this brush to flow 20% and opacity 100, and I'm gonna paint on this mask here to bring the details back, to make the eye more in focus, but gently, because you can't really bring those details back, but you can make it better. So from a distance here you can see the eyes now are more vivid and sharp. So before and after the eye. Okay, so after this is done, now I'm gonna create a black and white layer. I'm gonna set the reds to 0, and I'm gonna set the yellows to 0 too, and I'm gonna go here to luminosity. No, let's go to soft light. Okay, soft light, and I'm gonna make the opacity, actually I'm gonna leave the opacity like this for now, and I'm gonna invert the black and white layer. And now with my white brush, I'm gonna be painting on her skin to bring some of the freckles back. I'm gonna set this layer to opacity at 40%. You can see a slight difference there. I'm going to create an adjustment layer here, curves, and I'm going to set that to luminosity. And I'm going to bring the highlights here a little bit more. Let me put this in a folder so we can untick the difference as we go. Now I'm going to create a layer, and I'm going to name this layer color, and I'm going to get a brush, making sure this brush is set maybe to 20 flow and 20 opacity. I'm going to fix the color, so I don't want the image to have a lot of red, so I'm just erasing some of the reds like that. And if you see her teeth is slightly yellow, I'm gonna sample like a color near to her eyes there, the white of her eyes, and I'm gonna paint on top of her teeth very slightly. And you can see a little difference here. The teeth are more on the white side now. And yeah, like that. I'm gonna go back to the dodge here, and I'm just gonna paint on top. Her eyes too, what I will do, I'll create a curve layer, bring this layer quite high like that, maybe too much, maybe here. I'm going to invert that layer, and I'm gonna get a white brush, and I'm just gonna paint on the eye here because I want her eyes to really pop, like really pop. Makeup too, if you zoom in close, she's wearing a very subtle eyeshadow, so I'm just highlighting that. You can zoom out and you can see the before and after as I go here. And now I'm going to create a curves layer. I'm going to set this to luminosity, and I'll bring the top a little bit elevated to create some more shadows. And I'm going to delete where I don't want that. So I'm going to be using a black brush, set to 20% opacity and 20% flow, and I'm just going to remove from where I do not want that brightness. Maybe I'll increase the brush to 80 opacity and flow 60. Let me create another black and white layer and see if that would give any difference to the image. So black and white layers, click on the tint, and I'm now setting it to soft light, and I'm going to make it, set it to 30%, the opacity. Yeah, I think that improved the image. I think the image looks nice. I'm going to put it inside my folder. Yeah, I really like it. So the curves right here, these curves, I'm going to tone down the brightness here on her sleeve, just so the attention is not really on her arms and more on her beautiful face. So I'm trying to remove all the shadows or the highlights here. I think that is pretty good. And I'm going to click on the burn layer here. I'm going to set my color fill to black, and I'm going to fix, there is a little line that I want to fix right here. It was too much. A little line here. Increasing her makeup a tiny bit too. And let me see. I think that was quite nice. I'm going to highlight a tiny bit here too. And now I'm going to create frequency separation. I have an action for it, and frequency separation here. I'm going to run. I'm going to set my frequency separation brush. Sorry. The radius. I'm sorry. I was just yawning. To 4. And I'm gonna use the brush layer here, and I'm gonna select the color near to her nose, and I'm just gonna paint here because I want to remove these hot spots here on her nose. I'm just selecting a color that is closer to her natural nose shape. I fixed that. There are some hot spots here near next to her chin. I'm gonna fix it. I'm gonna slightly brush all over her face. And you can see the before and after. Yeah, before and after. And I'm gonna now apply some color gradients to the image. I'm gonna click on soft light. Ooh, I really like this. Let me see. This is really beautiful. I'm gonna save this new one. Let me change this color. Really strong orange, and let's see if I put it down to maybe 30. Maybe like this. That was a winner. I wasn't expecting that to be so quick. Yeah, I really like it. So now with hue and saturation, you can change the color of the flowers. So if you're not really crazy about it, you can change. Let's see. Let's see if this color works. I'm going to invert, get a white brush, and Actually, no, I'm gonna leave it as is. It's too much work, and I think the image looks absolutely beautiful like this. Now, last final touch, I'm gonna create an empty layer. I'm gonna set it to overlay, and I'm gonna be using a white brush and a black brush, and I'm gonna set both of my opacity and flow to 30. And I'm gonna create some highlights on her hair. So actually just enhance natural highlight created by the sun or the lighting source where we were here. So just slightly making it more visible, more poppy, if you will. And yeah, maybe some of the flowers so tiny. And now I'm gonna get the black brush and I'm gonna give the white areas some more definition. You can see before and after here. And I'm now gonna create a copy of whatever we have. So this should be the before and after. And I'm gonna duplicate that and I'm gonna make her hair a little bit more voluminous. So here I just picked this finger brush here, the forward warp tool. I'm just gonna make her hair slightly bigger. Why not? And let me see if I changed her face. I changed her face a tiny bit here. So here's the final before and after. I hope you all enjoyed this tutorial. I hope it was useful. I hope I was able to explain every step of the way. If you have any questions about anything, please do not hesitate to let me know. It will be a pleasure to help you all. And yeah, I'm also on the I'm always learning from other members of the community, and I'm very happy to be able to share what I know with the community too. And yeah, I'll see you guys next time. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and let's be friends on all social medias. Find me on Instagram, Twitter, and Facebook. Bye now.